Good morning, Central Texas. Welcome to Kiss Community Connections, 103.1 Kiss FM. I'm Phyllis Jones, your host for this morning. You know, I'm not liking the weather because it's getting warm and I want my 40 degrees back. Then my allergies to be okay. So, you know, I'm just saying I want my 40 degrees back. I'm just not ready. Besides, I didn't get my snow this year, so, you know, I'm kind of upset. But this morning, we're going to talk about a topic that I told everybody the first part of the year, that we're going to talk about it just about all year because we need to fix it. It's sex trafficking and human trafficking, and it's getting outrageously high, and it is because we're allowing it to. We're allowing it to by not paying attention. We're allowing it to happen because we just think that it's not bothering us and it's not our focus. But you know, Houston, Texas is number one in the United States. Not in Texas. Houston is the number one city in the United States for child sex trafficking and human trafficking. And it's because, once again, we don't know about it, so people haven't followed it. And, you know, things come into your your knowledge and you don't pay attention, such as, I'm going to say this, when you hear of a child running away or a child's missing, teenager missing, and you read it in the paper and hear it on the news, but you never find out that the child was found home or came back. You never find that out. So you know what you do? You forget about it. You do. You go, and you're assuming, yeah, she's probably home. Yeah. When in actuality, she could have been picked up for trafficking. But then again, we're not paying attention because of the society that we live in right now. We're not paying attention to the fact that something could have happened to that girl. You know, we're not educating each other on the words because there's a lingo that goes with trafficking that we don't know. You might call the traffic person a trafficker when actually he's a buyer. So, you know, the kids that have tattoos, we don't know how to ask them about that tattoo. You know, you might see a kid with a crazy, outrageous tattoo and you're going to say, that's stupid. Well, that child got the tattoo from the person who trafficked him or her. You just insulted them. So guess what? You're not going to get much conversation out of them. So we need to learn the lingo. We need to learn what we're looking at. We need to know what to do. We just need to know more about it. And, you know, everybody knows I'm a political junkie. So when this year, and I'll say it to everybody, this year, your legislative caucus, this is the 85th legislative session of the year, and it is time now for us to go see our legislators. For real. I don't care what party you're in. I don't care what color you are. You need to go see your legislators and we need to talk to them because now is the time that they vote on money. And you might say, I have a business and I don't need it. Yes, you do. Because they vote on how much they're going to put in grants and how much they're going to put in everything. But I went last Monday to our Texas Black Legislative Caucus Lobby Day. And not only did I see our Texas Black legislators, I saw every legislator. And guess what I asked for? I went to check on all the bills. And 4 years ago, Texas legislative session, they voted to put money into protect to services that will help kids that came back from trafficking, will help them get services. They created the group. They created a whole scenario. They created, like I said, they named the organization. They created who would do it, but they didn't fund it. They didn't fund it. So Texas created something that they didn't fund, you know, and I was upset about that. I'm like, how stupid can we be? Well, it was as stupid as we were because we didn't say nothing about it either. Some will say I didn't know, and okay, I'll go for that. But if you are living in the United States, or I'll say Texas right now, living in politics runs your whole life, and it really does. And we need to pay attention. But anyway, when I looked and realized that they do have human trafficking on the books. The governor did make the month of January human trafficking. He did a proclamation. Yet, the bottom line part and the most important part of getting our children mentally ready to go back into the area that they lived in and you know, be, I'm not going to say okay, because you'll never be 100% okay, but to be able to mentally deal with, you're going back to school, this is what you be doing. To get ready for that, they didn't fund it. Yet, Texas does a good job of arresting the buyers and the people who deal with it. excellent job at that, but we forgot about the counseling. So you know what? When I went to the legislators Monday, you know what I did? I talked to every legislator. I left them a packet, first about education, because you know I'm about education. So I left them a packet about education, and I left and in the same packet, human trafficking. You know, I beat them up about that. Scott Cosper, who is our legislator in Killeen area, District 54, he's on the appropriation committee. So I went and asked him why they didn't appropriate money for it. I went and asked him, you're on the appropriation committee. I need to know what's going to happen because I need some money from over there to put in this, you know. And so I made 20 packets and I gave out 20 packets to every legislator I ran into here. And, you know, that's what we need to learn to do, not only for human trafficking, but for anything that you really believe in for the state of Texas and you live here. You need to go to Lobby Day the month of March. April's a bit too late, but March, you need to go and visit them. They're waiting for you. The unfortunate thing is not many of us go. When I went, I took people, it was like 5 people went with me. The one thing we took was excellent. We took one of our Killeen police officers. Officer Kyle Moore went with us. This is his second time going. This time he was privileged to sit on a panel of police officers that, wow, they had years of experience to his 6 years. They had 20, all this. He sat with captains and all the other people, but they talked about things that go on in the community. So now Officer Kyle Moore has some ideas of things that he's going to bring back, that he's bringing back actually, to see if they can work in our areas. You know, so we need to go. And if you don't say, I don't know what to do, simple. Go Google the 85th legislative session, all the bills that they're working on are there. Pick one and talk about it, you know, and put human trafficking on your list. They need to fund it. They created an organization. They created a group. They created all these things. Well, things don't work if they don't have money. So we need to fund it. And yes, this is going to be my soapbox for the whole year until we succeed in making sure that Houston is not number one. Now, don't think Central Texas is all that cool either. We're part of the I-10 corridor, so we're just as heavy into trafficking as everybody else, just that Houston is number one. But our Central Texas area, we're not doing that good either, and we're not. We're failing very well, which means we're failing our children. So, you know, think about our kids. Think about your kids and everybody else's kids, but we need to protect our children. Okay, so that's part of my soapbox for this morning. But I had the privilege of going to a Bell County meeting, and where we discussed human trafficking. And, you know, from there, I was like, wow, okay, I needed to be here for this. I took a day off from work to go because it was important. It was that important to me to go. I took a day off. I'm like, you know what? These still our kids, and however we can protect them, we need to. You know, and it was an organization called A.R.K, and I didn't get the acronym for A.R.K, but
A.R.K stands for Awareness, Restoration, Keys to Freedom.
Yes. Okay. See, she said it. I didn't. She's my guest, and her name is
Tashe Lewis.
Tashe. She know I was gonna put the E on there, and I don't know why I'm trying to put the E on there, but Tashe Lewis. She was at the meeting I was at, but she was sitting on the far end over there because she had an interesting story, and I'm trying to get to her. But to get to her, you know how you run into 2 million other people, so I never could get to her. So I got her now. And there's an upcoming event. First of all, tell us about you.
Well, my name is Tashe Lewis. I was born and raised in Killeen.
For real? Okay.
Born and raised, no military affiliation. One of those rare breeds from the local area. And I grew up in a very impoverished neighborhood. My lifestyle consisted of being exposed to drugs, being sold, being done.
Wait. Well, back up. You said being what?
Sold drugs.
You were?
I was not selling drugs.
Oh,
my mother,
yeah.
My mother, she was a drug addict, and our
Okay.
house was like a trap house. It was a crack house where it was sold and where it was smoked, and
Wow.
and prostitution all took place. And this was around the age of 7 or 8 years old. So
Wow.
I was exposed to this lifestyle. I saw very intense things like crack lit on a spoon and just very out there. And so that was my lifestyle kind of growing up.
Wow.
And at the age of 13, I actually ended up becoming a prostitute in downtown Killeen.
Wow.
I was trafficked by a gentleman, if you would call him that, who
we won't call him that,
yeah, who would paint this picture of, this is for us, for our future, and just playing on that vulnerability of me growing up fatherless, and so I fell into that, and I believed it. It was very natural to me. I knew what it was. I grew up with it, so right. I was already exposed to that lifestyle, and so at the age of 13, I dropped out of 7th grade to become a full-time downtown streetwalker. Yes, and lived that life till I was about 21 years old. On and off, I went to school. I ended up graduating, and I worked regular jobs, but it was just a part of me that never really left, and so I didn't completely walk away from that lifestyle until I was 21 years old.
How did you walk away? Because I know you can't just go, oh man, I'm through now.
No, not at all. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Honestly, I just had to recognize that I was at a place where I didn't have the strength to do it myself. And so reaching out for help and finding help, being able to talk to other people, being able to seek counseling. Right. These are ways that I was able to come out, and a lot of it really was just my faith in trusting, God to help me, because I couldn't do it myself. So, and him just placing people in my life to help me. And actually now I go to a church that's downtown Killeen, and it's the exact same location where I used to be a prostitute. So just to walk in that freedom of knowing that's not who I am anymore. Right. It's just a privilege. And now my desire is to share with other women and encourage them and let them know, there's a way out. You don't have to stay in this lifestyle, but you have to want to get out. Yes, you have to want, because it is a bondage, and you'll find that for so many women, they like it because it's all that they know, and leaving that can be very scary
because you don't know where you're going.
Absolutely. You don't know what the aftermath of that will look like. So I'm just here to be a voice and to be a light and to give hope to some some women.
You need to okay, I'm gonna say it wrong, but it'll be right. Not only do you need to talk to women, you need to talk to children.
Oh yes,
because because the same scenario you just said today, there are children living that now, right? With their houses, a crack house, their house, all. So that's going on today, as well as when you were 7 years old. That's going on today, and even though you got kids who don't live in that kind of house, but the thing that happened to you, the conversation that he's not a man, he's a thing, but whatever. I'm not even calling him a gentleman, but the conversation he had with you to get you to do what you were doing is the same conversation that could be with another young girl. Right. The same words, the same, she doesn't have a father, so being a father figure was easy for him to do when he realized there was none. He go, okay, I can play this role, because that's what he's doing, playing a role. He's not actually doing. So kids need to hear from you. Adults, yes, they do, because we need to learn. We need to learn, like I said, the language. I wouldn't know how to tell anybody what they would say, because I don't know. I can only say they'll say mean things or whatever, but you could actually say, no, this is what they say, this is what happens. And, too often we used to, and some people still do, they sugarcoat something where then it doesn't sound as bad, when actually we need to quit doing that, pull the covers off and say, you know what, this is what happens. Graphically, this is what's going to happen to you, because then you get oh, wait a minute, hold up, stop. You just stop right there. When it gets to be that painful talk, that's when you need to keep it up. So, I'm going to host a human trafficking workshop, and I want you to be there because we can't get the word out enough. We find this going on more and more. And like I said, the reason it's going on more and more is because we don't say anything. Right. So during this time, did you talk to anybody to see if they would listen to you?
I grew up very isolated. And so I remember an instance where, and I don't mean to get too graphic here.
No, it's okay.
But I was raped by my pimp, and at 13 years old.
Wow.
And I remember going to a teachers. I just shout out to teachers. For those who really love students, you may not have any idea how much of an impact you really do make on your students. Just thank you. Thank you for your service to us. Thank you. And so one of my teachers whom I really trusted, she wasn't my teacher at the time, but I went to her and I talked to her about it. And she was so willing to help me, come live with me. And but there was still, I was connected to this person.
Right.
I was connected to them. I was committed to them. And I did not have the strength, even though I went to seek help.
Right.
And the help was there. Mentally, I was not able to physically give myself to yield to that help. And so it's a very dark place. It's a very scary place. It's just a very lonely place. So there were times when I reached out, but I really wasn't ready.
Right.
I was crying out, but really wasn't ready to actually receive the help that I needed. But there are organizations, there are different services, Texas Youth Services, which is out of Bell County, Texas, that provide help, that provide counseling. I've actually recently been asked to become a volunteer counselor with the Bell County Texas Youth Services. And these kids just need somebody to talk to. They feel like they're alone. I felt like I was alone. Right. And you're not. And we're here because we care. And so that's what this is all about. It's about helping people to become aware, because in our ignorance, these things continue to happen. I think a lot of times we think it happens in foreign countries, not realizing it's happening two streets down from where you're living, And so the more we become aware, the more we can do something about it. And that's just what we're here to spread the message of. It's reality and it's right here.
Before we talk about A.R.K and the upcoming event, after I went to the workshop where I saw you, and then I went to a couple of other ones, and I went to Unbound for a meeting. I did these crazy things. I really did. I went back to school the next day, and I was staring at every girl in school to look for tattoos. I was looking at. They don't know what I was doing. They have no clue. But I was watching all of the girls. I was watching every little girl. And I said, if they actually knew what I'm doing, they would think I was crazy. But for me, I was like, I gotta look. I have to know this, And without mentioning where I work at, it was a 5th grade girl, and she took off from school. She was running, and her father was running after her, but she was going to commit suicide in school. I don't know why. I'm not going to say that was why, but the whole thing was like, wait a minute. We got something really going on when I got a 5th grader that's talking about suicide. 5th grade, she should be trying to figure out what 5th graders do. The 5th graders think they're teenagers. So, to me, she should be thinking about the cute shoes and the cute jeans and the whatevers. And she's thinking about that. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on, stop. I even went to my Facebook post and, hey, listen, we got a problem when a 5th grader is trying to commit suicide. And then after that, since I work with special kids, I guess a lot of kids look at us as more trusting or more, I don't know whatever, but kids treat us differently than everyone else. What I mean by kids come up to us for a hug and we'll hug them because they see us hug our own kid, hug our class. So they hug us. But one little girl, she came up and she was upset and she just sat down at our table. I was like, wow, okay. And I said, hi. And she said, hi. And so I don't want to say why you're here. I just figured there's a reason and she'll let us know. So she was talking to one of our students, and our students are 3 years old, but I have a 3-year-old going on 15. Anyway, they were talking and they were talking back and forth. So that's when she says, I said, so how's your day? And she let me know that this one little girl keeps just picking on her. And I'm like, so what'd you do? What'd you do about it? And, she told us what she did about it. I said, so have you ever thought about this? And I gave her, a couple of things. She goes, I just want to kill myself. I'm like, whoa, wait, hold up. She says, what? Just wait. And she says, well, I said, listen, one, you're a beautiful child. I said, people pick on you because you have something that they don't have. She said, what do you mean? I said, you might have a personality that she doesn't have. I said, when people pick on you, they pick on you because there's something you have in you that they want. So the only way to get back at you, they know, is to be mean to you. I said, so it's not your fault. This is her fault. I say, but for lunch, tell your teacher you need to sit away from her. I said, tell your parents. Go talk to the counselor. I said, in fact, we'll go with you to the counselor. She says, yeah. She said, I said, if you want us to go with you, talk to your teacher, we'll do that too. And her thing is, for real, yeah, whatever it takes for you not to say that no more. So she gave us a hug. Me and my coworker, she gave us a hug and talked to us. And she said, can I sit there? Sure. Sit there every day if you want to. If your teacher says it's okay, you can sit there every day. But for me, I was like, wait a minute. Now, she's 3rd grade, which means she's 8 years old. So that should never come out of our kids' mouth. So we need to, along with the trafficking and all that, what I'm saying is when our kids talk, instead of saying, yeah, we need to start listening. Because we don't know what they're going to say. I mean, when she sat down with us, I'm like, what does this girl want? My whole thought was, but I never said that. I'm smart enough not to say, what do you want? I figured, okay, she'll tell us eventually why she's sitting here, and I said, okay, lead in question, how's your day? So that's when she started. But, such as you yourself, what you went through, we need to stop living that fast-paced life of how you doing and keep walking.
Oh, yes.
When you see the child with your head held down, if I see a kid with the head held down, I'm going to pick something. And it could be a shirt. The shirt could be ugly. I don't know what. But I'm going to say, where'd you get that shirt from? Did you pick that shirt up? Really? It was a nice shirt. Okay, well, now the kids got to lift their head to talk to me because we're going to have a conversation now. But we need to, when our kids are holding their heads down, figure out why. I mean, I'm not going to say why you holding your head down, but I'm going to bring a conversation up that will make you look up, talk to me, because you realize I'm not walking past you now. I'm standing right here with you, forming this conversation.
Right.
So we need to start listening to our young people when they talk. We need to learn that you're not too old to learn what's going on, because and I'll say, go back to human trafficking. People think drug trafficking is getting worse. It isn't. Drug trafficking is basically down because human trafficking makes more money. I can sell drugs once. I can sell a person over and over. I know that sounds really bad what I just said, but it's actually true fact.
Right.
So we need to do what we can to get the word out to stop it. And doing nothing helps it go. It helps it grow. And we need to remember these are our kids, that we want them to take over tomorrow. Well, if we don't protect them today, they won't be able to take over tomorrow. They won't be here. Or they won't be ready to take over tomorrow. So we need to do what we can. But A.R.K, can tell us all about A.R.K, what it does, what it doesn't do, and what's going on.
Well, the mission of A.R.K is to free those in enslaving life circumstances through encounters with the transforming love of Christ, and to equip individuals with the keys to freedom and independence. And so the mission right now is to do all that we can to bring awareness to our local area right where we are. And so, like the meeting that you attended, the round the table meeting, that's an opportunity for people who are unaware of the subject or topic to come and gain information. It's also an opportunity for networking. Networking is really big. You've got social media and email and things like that, and it definitely has its benefits. And so it's these different organizations coming together, sitting down, discussing topics and bouncing off ideas off of one another to figure out how we can bring about this awareness to impact and make a change. And I believe that there's strength and unity. And so it's a lot easier and it's going to be a lot more successful when we're supporting one another and backing one another up. So that's the mission. It's to bring awareness. It's to bring help, to do trainings. There are trainings that are offered. And if, anyone would be interested in that training, I'd be more than glad to shout out the email for you to reach the director of the A.R.K Foundation. But there are trainings that they provide to help people become aware of some of the signs of, what to look for, the lingo, the jargon of, what to listen for, to pay attention and to not be fearful to get involved. If it was your child and you didn't know where they were, you would want somebody to step up and to become involved. And so thinking about it from that perspective, I think definitely helps us to really be passionate about these children. And one thing I'll say for me personally is I lived a double life. Even in high school, I was a prostitute at night and I was going to school during the daytime, and I lived this double life and no one ever knew it. So you've got some women, some ladies, some teenagers in high school who are so crafted and have been taught and so skilled and so strategic that they look normal just on the surface talking to them. So it really takes a discerning eye and a discerning ear, and taking the time to really engage with people and talk to them, like you said, not just say hi, how are you doing, just for convenience, but to really take the time, because there are kids. I was talking to some middle school kids just a few weeks ago wanting to commit suicide. Like, it's so serious and it's so crazy. It's time to stand up and to get involved and to pour into these children. And so that's kind of the overview of what A.R.K is about. I kind of went on a little tangent there. No.
You know what? No, because the more information you give, the more information people will have, and there's all kind of ways to rattle people's cages. You know what I mean? Because me talking about it, people are like, yeah, okay, there Phyllis is again on the soapbox. Okay, now you're talking about it was you. Right. It's like, wait a minute, hold up. Wait. This is different now. She said what happened to her. Right. And then you said what happened to you in Killeen. You didn't say, I was in Austin, I was in San Antonio. Right. You know, you said what happened to you here, you know, right here. And to also say in Kempner, you know, they raided two trailers. One mobile home, I guess you want to say, they did human trafficking, and the other one they did the the labor trafficking. So, and they busted them, and that was in Kempner, which is down the street. You know, so bringing it home hurts, because then you realize that somebody's going to realize that they know you, saw you, and didn't extend a hand to you. You know, but what I want to ask is, will A.R.K do trainings in Copperas Cove, Coryell County, or are they just strictly Bell? Or do we need to check and find that out?
We need to check and find out. Okay. They are located out of Bell County. And so if you're interested, the email address is A.R.K, the number 2, freedom@gmail.com. If you're interested in finding more about what A.R.K is about, what it entails, their trainings, or just talking to somebody of wanting to get involved, you can definitely reach out by email or by phone number 254-563-1824. And the leaders of that organization would be more than happy to take the time to share with you what they're about and how you can get involved and be a part of that movement.
Okay, so there's an upcoming event to bring more awareness and also to raise funds to put back in to help those that need it when they're found and brought back. So can you talk about that? That
event is called Freedom Fest. It's going to be held on March 24th from 2:00 p.m. to 10:00 p.m. That's a Friday, March 24th from 2 to 10. At the University of Mary Hardin Baylor, and the human trafficking and representatives from local agencies will help increase awareness of modern slavery and safety, and family-friendly stage presentations. Festivals will also feature live bands and music, food trucks, bounce houses, vendors, and this will definitely be the place to be that Friday night. And so it's really a family-friendly event. There's going to be all different types of activities. If you're hungry, if you're thirsty, there's going to be entertainment. I'm actually going to be at that event as one of the speakers. I'll actually be doing some music too, because I sing. Oh my! And and there are going to be some other artists there, and it's just going to be a really fun time. There are going to be different organizations there with pamphlets and resources and information on how they serve the community. And so it's really, the point is just to bring about the awareness and get people to know it's right here where we are. It's right here where we are. You don't have to go 5,000 miles away. It's right down the street. And this is the first annual event that A.R.K is hosting this. So this is a pretty big deal, and it's coming together just wonderfully. I will say there are vendors still needed. There is a vendor application. And if you're interested in becoming a vendor, you may also reach out by phone or via email. And again, that's ARK2freedom@gmail.com. A.R.K 2 freedom@gmail.com. So we still need vendors. If you make jewelry, if you do tutus, if you crochet, whatever it is that you do that's artsy, craftsy, or whatever product that you just want to sell, we have the opportunity for you. There is a fee. It's $50 for profit, and you'll be out there all day. And so if you sell books, if you're an author, these are different types of vendors that we are still in need of. I think we have just a few right now, and we still have a little time between now and the event. So if you're interested in that, don't hesitate to send out that email and figure out what needs to be done to proceed in that endeavor.
And the funds go back to helping.
Yes, all of the funds go directly into the human trafficking project. Nothing is pocketed. This is solely to help the young women and the young children. And another thing is there are young boys that are involved in this too. This is not just women, and it's not just male sellers. There are women sellers. This thing is whoever is willing to buy, they're going to sell whatever the person's willing to pay for, and that includes young boys, unfortunately. And so all of it, every penny is going back into helping these children and these young women and young men come out of this lifestyle and have a new start.
We're going to take a break and come back. Then we'll finish. We'll take a little break and come back.